Welcome to the GCN Tech Clinic, where we aim to answer your bike and tech related questions. You can submit your questions down below using the hashtag askgcntech, and we'll do our best to answer as many of them as possible within the allotted time. So without further ado, this week's first question.
First one in is from Alberto. They say, hello beautiful peeps. I have two bikes that I wash regularly. I happened to turn one upside down the other day after washing it, and for some reason water came out of the headset / stem cap area. I thought there was something wrong with my bike, but I went and did the same with the other bike and the same happened. Am I doing something wrong? I don't even use a pressure washer. Yeah, water's going to work its way into all of the different areas of your bike. It depends what stem and headset setup you have. But what I tend to do after washing my bikes, first thing actually, are you washing your bikes with them flipped upside down? Because if you are, all the water's going to run straight up into the steerer tube as well. So don't do that if you are. But when I'm washing my bikes, having washed it, I flip it up on its end and hang it up in the garage, or just bang it a couple of times, and all the water sort of works its way out of the stem and the headset.
If you wanted to get really pro at washing your bike, then an air compressor is really good.
Oh yeah.
For like just blasting in and trying stuff out. That's what the pros use. The pro mechanics
get the
use
water out, the little nooks and crannies.
Yeah, a lot of bike shops have them as well because it does just dry it really effectively. Another cool solution you can do is if you have a dehumidifier. If you put your bike in a room or wherever you store it, have a dehumidifier there. Once you've washed it, that'll dry it out pretty good. So even water that's then inside the frame or whatever will dry out with the dehumidifier.
Okay.
So that's good tips.
Next question is from Edward.
Tiki.
Hello, I'm new to road cycling. I started road cycling in December and e-mountain biking in May. Just accomplished my personal distance record, 75 kilometers.
Nice.
Yeah, good for you. Here's the problem. I was in pain, horrible pain in the neck and the middle of my back to the side. What should I do? Well, it sounds like your body's just not accustomed to riding in that position for so long. Like lots of things in life, practice. But also, I would probably look at trying to do some strength exercises on your neck and your back, and also just some really basic stretches.
Yeah. Bit of core, bit of yoga off the bike's going to help. Something that I often hear when people especially like in Bath and stuff, and they start riding their bikes and they're not cyclists.
Yeah.
And where we live in Bath, it's really hilly.
Yeah.
And what you find is that when you get someone who doesn't really ride much, or they're getting new to cycling, you forget like what that felt like.
Yeah, it's
and
awful.
You just don't have the core muscles developed, particularly like in the lower back. So they start cycling up like one of these hills.
There's a lot of strength.
And they're like, I really feel it. And it takes time to just sort of develop these muscles and this musculature to work.
Yeah, the muscles in your sort of core and torso are going to develop the same as your leg strength is going to build. So just give it time. If you're finding it's a really persistent pain, head to your local bike shop and seek out some advice there. Yeah. Next question. You go.
It's from Jürgen Stutemeyer, who says, I'm in the market for a new bike. I'm wondering if I should get a gravel bike or a road bike. I ride 99% of my time on tarmac. Get a road bike.
No, read the rest of the question.
But the reason for considering a gravel bike is to get a more comfortable bike. I'm not a fast rider. Average speed is around 25k an hour. But I do like longer rides, 100 to 150 kilometers. And my current bike is a Pinarello Dogma K. That's the one with the little squidgy boy.
Oh yeah, I
forgot
about that.
Suspension one at the back that they did for Paris-Roubaix.
Yeah, I forgot that.
I'd also like to get a new Pinarello. I've been looking at a Dogma F and a Gravel F.
Oh.
I mean, this guy's sounds like he's living
Big
the dream.
Bikes, yeah, I know. Sorry for some.
Yeah, but I'd like to hear your opinion. Dogma for speed and aero or Gravel for comfort?
It's a really tough call, and I guess the principles what we're talking about are going to apply to all sorts of different bikes. Do you stick with like a top spec road bike or move across to like a gravel bike orientated towards performance? It's a tough call, and if you're riding 99% of the time on the road, it does feel like it would make sense to have a road bike. And then if you want to go onto some smooth gravel paths or something, just use a slightly larger volume tyre, providing it fits into your frame.
Well, the thing is, right, maybe he's riding 99% of the time on road.
Yeah.
Because you've got a road bike. If you had the option to do the other stuff, you might do more of it. So you got to factor that in.
Well, in terms of gravel bikes, the Gravel F is a pretty racy aero gravel bike, and that bike with a set of road wheels and tyres on is going to be like very capable on road.
Yeah, it is going to be it's still an aero bike,
Yeah.
and you can put road wheel. I would maybe do the thing that you've done before, one bike, two wheel sets.
Simple. In that case, I'd be inclined to go towards, if I just have one bike, I'd have the gravel. Yeah, or a gravelly kind of bike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's still light, still aero. Yeah.
Easy. I'm glad we cleared that up. Big purchase coming up, I think.
Yeah.
Unfab next, they say, hello GCN team, what would your advice be to an intern mechanic like myself who'd hopefully have his own bike shop / repair one day? Any tips for repairs or general advice? I do have some advice actually, and the first thing I would say is that experience, you just can't go without that. People that own and run and work in bike shops spent years and years and years learning their craft and their trade.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to take time. Make some mistakes, get hands-on, fix lots of people's bikes, and there is no substitute for time and experience, I think.
Yeah. Plus, it's a bit like a lot of industries. You build up like a client base.
Yeah.
You get loyal clients, like loyal customers. So if you're a good, sound, like solid, reliable mechanic, they'll come back to you and they'll keep coming back. So. Yeah.
And if you're really stuck on maintenance, well, we've got some maintenance videos.
We've also got a book. Get our book. That's the number one tip.
Yeah, that would be really helpful actually.
Yeah.
Like a go-to Bible. Peter, next question. Why is my bike so much less comfortable whilst riding inside than when it is riding outside? I can ride outdoors for hours, but indoors, an hour on Zwift, I feel aches from the saddle. Well, I mean, it's just because you're in one static position when you're riding indoors. Outdoors, you're in and out of the saddle, you're steering, your weight's transferring into different areas. So, simple solutions to this if you're indoors. Be mindful to do some sections in and out of the saddle and keep moving your shoulders and your arms around a little bit.
Yeah, well, there's another potential thing I'm going to add into this.
Yeah.
Because this is an issue I found with when I was trying to train with my TT bike on Zwift, okay, indoors on the Wahoo Kicker. Like, I found that I found the saddle on the TT bike and the position like really uncomfortable on my undercarriage.
Yeah.
And then when I rode outside and did races on the TT bike, I was fine. So I was like, what's going on here? And I was able to solve it by just getting some books.
Yeah.
And just raising the front end of the bike when it's on the turbo.
That's a good
and it just felt like I was pointing downwards a bit on the turbo.
So just tweaked it a little bit.
Tweak it, yeah, just maybe experiment with just the angle of the bike a little bit. And I think maybe raising it a bit, you might find it
all right.
helpful.
Interesting advice. Jimmy Arnold next. Hi Tech team. I have a question about smart trainers and erg mode. I've tried to keep the chain in a straight line for efficiency and longevity, but they've noticed during sweet spot efforts that if they use the small ring, it seems considerably more difficult than the large chain ring. But they say they've done a simple search and it appears to be due to the flywheel spinning faster. And I'm in complete agreement. I think this is mostly down to the inertia that is carried in the flywheel of the trainer.
Yeah.
And it's the same principle as when you're out on the road, apart from the inertia is carried into the rear wheel.
Yeah.
And that's why, I don't know, 200 watts on a flat, fast road feels very different to 200 watts up a great big climb or on a fast descent. 200 watts is 200 watts, but it has a different feeling on your legs, and that's to do with the inertia and the position of the bike, I think.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I mean, it makes sense, but I've not looked enough into it to know.
It's something that I was told a while ago, so I'm going to go with that, and I think that's the reason for the different feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll go with that then.
Yeah. Right, last question. You read this one out.
From the Cycling Stash, who says, I'm sure this would probably be banned by the UCI, but would there be any measurable benefit for a pro to switch to a slacker, longer bike for alpine descents, enabling them to be more aggressive or faster on the downhill?
No, I just don't. I get the idea and the theory behind it. In principle, this is not going to work in a road race situation.
Talk us through this. Why?
Practicalities. I'm going to talk you through. Picture me this: you are you've climbed to the top of whatever massive climb it is. You're about to start a big long descent. You want to be at the front. It's where the race is happening. It's where the top riders are. You want to get to the descent. Right, okay, quick. I need my speedy descent bike with its longer, slacker geometry. How do you get that? You can't take it from the roadside. It's against UCI rules. You got to take it from the team car. Team car on the radio. I need my fast bike. Team car's halfway down the mountain still. What are you going to do? Just stand there and wait?
Yeah.
No chance.
Well, that's not going to work.
No.
But that's the logistics of that is clearly not going to work.
The theory, I think there's potential on the theory.
You reckon?
I think if he had a bike for road racing designed purely to go downhill, in theory it would be faster than a bike which is set up for a bit of everything.
But you would just, I mean, if you were going to do that though, would you necessarily go down the slack geometry route though? Like the long wheelbase? I don't think I would, because for tight cornering, like hairpins and switchbacks, I don't want a really, really long wheelbase.
Okay, maybe that specific example isn't quite right.
Disc wheel on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe make it heavy, because you want inertia, you want the downhill weight. Yeah, I'll make it heavy because it'll accelerate quicker.
Yeah. I think the principle of a downhill
super
bike,
aero.
I think it works, but I think the practicalities of it.
Drop a post.
Go on, say some more downhill bike things.
Gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I get the idea. I just think in essence, it's not going to work in a road race situation.
I'd go drop a post though. That'd be cool.
That would be cool, because that doesn't involve the team car. Yeah, I think we've kind of proved that works. You did a video about it actually.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Matej Mohoric.
Okay, well that was the last question of this week's Tech Clinic. I hope we have covered the burning topics in this week's video. And if we haven't answered your question, comment in the comment section down below and we'll pick it up next week, shall we? Right, let's get out of here.